Sprite, the 2K pregame show.
Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports, everybody. Ernie Johnson along with Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, it'll be the Dallas Mavericks going up against the San Antonio Spurs. You take a look at the Spurs. They're currently holding on to the best record in the league. Not the conference, the league. They've been head and shoulders above the competition this season. One of those guys who can really shoot the ball, and for him, the playoffs in 2014, a breakthrough. We're talking about Danny Green, Shaq.
Yes, he is perfect for the Spurs. He runs off screens and knocks down threes, especially when I tell him to leave it all the time. If you take a look at this right here, Ernie, he releases the shot, and he leaves it up there as it goes in. Yak 'em.
You're trying to tell me that your advice to Danny Green on three-point shooting has paid off. Come
yes,
on.
it has.
Come on.
Yes, I taught him. I taught Dennis Scott. I taught Glenn Rice. I taught Brian Shaw. Leave it.
Time now to go out to Kevin Harlan as we get set for the tip.
The heart of Texas, a look at the city lights of Big D, Dallas. It's a Western Conference battle here at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, as the Mavericks look to work the home court advantage. Spurs would love to finish off this road trip on a good note. This is a hot team. They currently hold the best record in the entire NBA.
Well, it's fun to see it all come together for them, Kevin. The coaching staff has really gotten through to the players. Everybody's buying in. It's just so great when you see every last guy on the bench on the same page.
And they just keep putting those W's in the rearview mirror. I mean, we always knew the potential this team had, and they're filling it to the absolute max right now.
And a look at the starters for San Antonio. Leonard and Duncan are the pair at forward. Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2, and it's Splitter in at the center. Well, you talk about the great European players in NBA history. Dirk Nowitzki, Steve, has to be right at the top of the list.
Well, without question. And another distinction, for Dirk is possibly the greatest 7-foot shooter in basketball history. Actually, I think he is. And then with that high release, his jumper is about the closest thing to an unblockable shot as we've seen since maybe the sky hook back in the day. Heads up, aggressive play right there. He saw the smaller man on him, took it straight to the basket.
Parker outside. Pass to Green. Beyond the arc. Dirk Nowitzki with the rebound.
You mentioned the sky hook. Dirk has actually been working on a version of that shot with his lifelong German trainer. Still tinkering with his game and looking to add to it even now. And he's surely going to be a Hall of Famer. That's part of the reason why he doesn't stop working on improving.
Here's Parker after Dirk Nowitzki's bucket. Duncan left side. Here's Splitter. And that'll be San Antonio as it goes out of bounds. Spurs retain possession. 23 seconds. And San Antonio has possession. Looking for the first basket of the game.
Well, Nowitzki has a game that's aging so well with his size and touch. He says in the offseason he trains more just on lower body strength than he does on shooting skills. Trying to keep that big platform for the shot. And the defense fouling there to prevent that layup, forcing 2 free throws here.
A nice job that time of attacking the paint and drawing the contact. They'll take that.
The Mavericks shooting their first shots from the free throw line tonight.
And as a team, they're shooting about 75% on the year.
They've really put themselves behind the 8 ball in so many of their games because they just have not been able to knock down those foul shots.
Well, for Tim Duncan and the Spurs, an incredible legacy of dominance. In his 17 years in the league, the Spurs have never won less than 61% of their games, not to mention, of course, 5 finals appearances and 4 NBA championships.
And that's good as he hits both of his shots. And the Spurs have done an amazing job, Clark, over the years surrounding Duncan with the right kind of talent.
And Tim Duncan has done a great job leading and making adjustments in his own game. They're a team with great scouting and development of their players. You talk to players who've been there. That's one of the things they rave about, Kevin, is they get the attention for their individual development. And all of their players were not lottery picks. Most of them were mid, late first-round picks, some second-round guys, and it's just another example of doing it the right way at the highest level.
You know, when he has the ball outside like that, that's exactly the kind of D they need to play on.
And a little over 2.5 minutes gone here in the first. Green kicks to Parker. Shot clock at 6. Fires from 18. Another miss by Parker.
I don't know if it's just me, but he's looked a step slow since the start of the quarter. His shooting has really suffered.
Nowitzki sets a screen for Ellis. He feeds it to Parsons. Good, and the assist goes to Ellis. Parsons got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Last game for the Spurs. They pick up the W against the Hawks in Atlanta.
It was an emphatic win for them, especially considering that it was on the road. No question, by the way, that it was their offense that carried.
Steve, I love the way they attacked at every opportunity. They never were on their heels, and eventually that allowed them to pull away.
Well, nice way there to get your first basket of the game.
And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. Parker against Harris. 13 feet away. That one a little long.
Good, tough defense there, getting a hand up, forcing that miss.
Well, he's got the reputation of being a tough defender, and there was an example right there for you.
Now, here's Green. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. There's a good screen. Leonard with the ball. Now guarded by Parsons. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. Well, Kawhi Leonard drafted 15th overall, Clark, back in 2011. The pick acquired from the Indiana Pacers in a trade for George Hill.
And you know, at the time, Manu Ginobili said that he really didn't agree with the trade, made him angry. He had a real strong relationship with George Hill and liked his game. I'm sure a lot of Spurs fans felt the same way, but even as Hill remains a heck of a player, the Spurs fans have to be happy. As a matter of fact, they are ecstatic with what Kawhi Leonard has been able to do and what he looks like he's going to do for many years to come.
And so he makes both from the line.
And Leonard has been a great fit with the Spurs culture. Quiet, low maintenance, hardworking, not one for all the glitz and the glamour. He owns one watch, they say. Just focused on basketball, not the lifestyle that it affords.
Now here's Ellis, averaging 18 points a game. 18 that time from Leonard.
There was just enough defensive pressure to get him off balance and cause that shot to go awry.
Parker outside. Green with the ball. Picked up by Ellis. 6 on the shot clock. There's the pick. Here's Parker. And it's all evened up. Parker's got 5 points so far.
When you talk about Leonard's work ethic, instilled in him from his late father, lost tragically when Kawhi was only 16 years old. But his father used to put him to work at his car wash, made him run hills, and really embedded in him the value of hard work. And his dad's influence and legacy lives on in Kawhi.
Now here's Parker after the miss from Tyson Chandler. Duncan with a screen on Harris. And stolen by Harris. Now the Mavericks moving it up. Harris with the ball. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Over the last month, let's see how the Mavericks fared in the NBA rankings. 8th in rebounding, 8th in assists, and they are in the top 10 in team points per game.
And the rebounding is really the key stat that I'm looking at right there with all those numbers you talked about, Clark. This is a team that really tries to be physical, and when they're able to secure boards, that does a lot of things for them. It helps their defense, keeping teams from getting second chance opportunities against them, and it fuels their fast break. It's interesting that the Mavs almost exclusively built through free agency. Now, they make draft picks, but they always seem to have a hand in free agency come July.
So after making the first, he goes 1 for 2. Well, Clark, you look back at some of the big names they were rumored to be in on, like Darren Williams and Dwight Howard. Those two names come to mind.
And they missed out on them, but they've always been very good about remaining flexible when they need to be with the salary cap.
And let's use this break to check out a group of the NBA's best defenders recently. The shooting guards averaging the most steals per game for the past month. Monte Ellis is 4th.
And both the hand speed and general quickness of the players on that list are outstanding. I mean, those are the qualities you need to be an effective perimeter defender.
Well, the two-guard position is where we often find a team's best defender, and that's definitely the case with these guys. Every one of their team leans on them heavily at the defensive end. How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
The Mavericks trailing. Harris with it. Last time out, he had 13 points. Chandler outside. At the elbow, it's Ellis. Hits the jumper in space. Ellis has got his first points of the game.
You know, that's one way he can finish, but not the only way. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game.
Well, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, so smart, a former foreign intelligence officer during the Cold War. If he's tight-lipped with the media, maybe that's the reason why.
As we close in on the start of the playoffs, let's see how the West is stacking up. Taking a look at San Antonio, they've got their eye on the #1 seed as the season moves into the final stretch. Currently first place in the standings, and guys showing no signs of letting up. And, of course, the Mavericks, down 5 spots from them.
You know, checking out San Antonio, they've been just as tough as everybody expected coming into this season. I mean, one of the teams with a legit chance, in my mind, to win it all.
Man, with the playoffs rapidly approaching, Clark, I mean, this is what you work all season for. You've got to be excited and prepared for the challenge.
Popovich back in the 70s, toured Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union with the U.S. Armed Forces team. He speaks Serbian and Russian.
Yeah, you know, no surprise that, Kevin, given his experience abroad, that he helped make the Spurs real trendsetters as far as international scouting.
Here's Duncan after Dirk Nowitzki's bucket. Duncan, the pass to Green. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
Fantastic dunk, and he decided to hang around up there for a while, Kevin.
Well, maybe, you know, he didn't want to land awkwardly. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was a safety move.
Or maybe he just wanted to give the photographers a better angle for the shot.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it.
Boy, did they ever make a mess out of that one. A terrible turnover.
A different look for Dallas. Stoudemire's checked in for Chandler. Aminu comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Rajon Rondo subbed in for Ellis. The Spurs also changing it up. Diaw comes in for Splitter. And it's Ginobili in for Tim Duncan. Now here's Leonard. He picked up 30 points in their last win against the Hawks in Atlanta. Here's Parker. Good. Parker's got 7.
Defender a little hesitant to offer resistance as he bursts to the hoop.
The Mavericks have gotten 5 of 10 shots to drop in this game so far. Right at the 50% mark. Rondo's shot is off. San Antonio with the ball. They're on a 13-5 run. On the wing, Green. The three-pointer, no good.
Boy, from my angle, it looked like it was in the bottom of the net. Looked good from here.
Yeah, I thought so too, Clark.
Parsons right through the D for the layup. Parsons got it all tied up now for the man.
Well, the defense just looked a little lazy on the glass there.
Yeah, nobody boxing out. That's inexcusable.
Diaw, the screen. Parker drives in, uses the glass to finish the layup. He's got 9.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Parker against Rondo. Stoudemire up top. And Ginobili pulls it down. Spurs have gotten 7 of their first 16 field goal attempts to go down here in the first. Now here's Green. 9 points last game out. Back to Parker. 5 on the clock. San Antonio.